Hello everyone, you have started watching CodeWithAbby. In today's video, we are going to build the foundation of AI development using Python. And trust me, if you are serious about working with tools like ChatGPT, OpenAI APIs, or Google Gemini, then this is the most important starting point. We will begin by creating a clean Python project and setting up environment, the virtual environment. It is also known as venv, so that our project dependencies stay isolated and professional. Then we will learn how to secure store API keys using .env file, because hard coding keys inside Python code is one of the biggest beginner's mistake. And finally, we will build two real working Python mini applications, one that uses OpenAI API and the other that uses Google Gemini API. Both the apps will take a question and instantly generate an AI response. So by the end of this video, you will have a complete working setup that you can reuse for any AI project in the future. Now, without wasting any time, let's start from the beginning and create our first AI development environment. Here, I am going to create a folder called demo, DEMO, and then I am getting into this folder. For your information, I have already installed Visual Studio Code, which you can do. If you have not, if you let me know, I will tell you how to install, but it's pretty simple and easy. You can navigate to the Visual Studio Code download and you can install it from there. So if you say Visual Studio Code and download, and you can navigate to this place, and then you can download the Visual Studio Code IDE for your Windows or Mac or other environment. It's all available here. Make sense? Let me go navigate to this particular folder called demo. And in this, I will right click. You will see there's something called open in terminal, the option if you have installed Python and other stuff. So this is a PowerShell thing. You open a terminal here. And in order to open Visual Studio Code, all you need to type is code space dot. The moment you do this, your Visual Studio Code gets opened here. Right? So this is the interface that you get of Visual Studio Code. For opening the terminal, all you require is to press Ctrl and tilde character. So the terminal gets opened. This is a terminal for you. And then we have to do a couple of things. First of all, you set the environment for your project that you are going to do for Python application. So all you require to do is that you have to type something called Python, Python, -m, and then there is a command called venv, that is virtual environment, and then you can type the environment of your name of your environment, that is myenv. So for me it is myenv. If I'm hitting this, so observe here that the myenv environment got created in this folder. This has got a couple of things, include library, scripts. These are all dependent and all necessary files responsible and useful for your application to run in the Python application. So this has been created. The next thing that you are required to do is the activate. So activate your environment. So in order to activate your environment, you have to do something called the environment name. So what is your environment? myenv slash myenv v slash scripts. So this has got called something called scripts slash activate. So if you do this, your environment gets activated. Make sense? Now we have one step ahead now. The next thing is this: once we are going to do the program, we need to have some dependencies. So all you require to do is that you need to install the dependencies here, or the best way to do, or production grade code to do, is that you can create a requirement txt file, and in that txt file you can actually store all your requirement or dependency files, and you can install in one go. So what I need is, I'll go here in demo, the root folder, and then I will add one new file, and I'll name it as requirements.txt. Requirement.txt gets created here, and in this requirements.txt, I will try to write the requirements possible. What are my requirement? So this is my program, and in this program I need a couple of things, and those couple of things require few things to install or dependency to So in the requirement.txt, we have three things: OpenAI, Google Gen AI, and Python.env. I'm saving this, and then we will go to install requirements here. So for that, we'll do pip install -r requirements.txt, and this should install all the requirements. You see that all the requirements are getting installed for you, and environment is getting set. Already you have already done that, and I think we are good to do. Let me clear it using clear command. Now we have done half away. Next step is to actually uh, create one env file, .env file. So I will select the root folder, and then I will hit the new file, and I'll say .env. This is the environment file which will contain all the your secret stuffs, or the steps which are secret, which you want to use and don't want to show in the coding. So you can keep it here. I will mainly store the API keys here. I will not show you the actual API key, but I'll show you how am I going to store those API keys here. Make sense? Typically about how I manage .env file. You see that I have kept two keys here: OpenAI key, Google API key. OpenAI API keys, Google API key. And here your key actually that comes from what you have generated. So you can navigate anytime to a specific uh, like you can go to aistudioGoogle.com, and here you can create a key for your Gemini. You can navigate to platform.openai.com, and here you can create one key for your OpenAI. When you create a OpenAI key or Google API key, it will ask for a couple of details like your card details and all, but this goes very minimal. Billing is really less. It is very much affordable for you. If you want it in detail how to do this step by step, write me. I will do another video for you, which you can. But I think this is pretty easy for you to do. You can do it very easily. Let me go again to Visual Studio Code. Here, this way the key actually comes in, and then I will save it. So this is for your reference. I have not put actual key here. In offline, I'll put actual key here so that I will access these keys somewhere in my program. Make sense? Now, as the key I have stored in my NV, and I'm not going to open it for you because now my actual keys are here. Let's go and try to create create the file which will use, or which will try to connect to Google Gemini in first program, and the second program it will try to connect to OpenAI, and it will try to get data for us. Make sense? Let's go and do that. So the first file that I'm going to create is called as Gemini API. So how will I do? I will select the root folder, and I will click this, and then I'll say Gemini _app, and then .py. Py is the Python program, and this gets created here. So once this file has been created, we need to do a couple of what you call imports. So we'll do something called import OS is the first import that we will do. Secondly, from Google import Gen AI, and third is from .env import, let's say load _env. So this way we have imported three files here. Let me increase size a little. So I will increase size. So let's first of all, let's do something called load all environment stuffs. So we will load all environment details. For that, we will do load.env. So load.env will do all environment. So whatever details that you have saved here in environment, that will be loaded here. The second thing that we are going to do is, let's go and use Google Gemini API, right? So for that, we will create a variable, an object called client equals GenAI dot client. So GenAI dot client, and this will need what you call API key. So that is called API __ key equals the API key that you have actually saved in env file. And how to retrieve that? os dot get env. So if you do os.getDNV, it needs the key name, and our key name is Google underscore API underscore key. So this is store that key name. So this way, basically, we will create a Gemini client here by supplying the API key, which we have stored in env file. I'm not showing to you. I understand that you have created an API key and stored in .env file. The next is we will go and we will create a query. So we will create a query which will be sending to Gemini. So what is our query? So we will say query equals what is the capital of Japan. That's a query that I'm going to write. And the next step is let's go and try to request Gemini and get response. Okay, so we will write the request. So we'll do like client. So the client that we have created above, client dot models clients dot models dot generate content. This is the way that we approach Gemini. Client dot models dot generate content, and here we will supply the model of Gemini that we need to. There are many models which are paid, which are free, so we will select one of the free models. If you say which are free, which are paid, or which all can we can use, I will share a list with you which you can use it, or you can explore it by yourself also, that which are models that we can use for free. And then content. So in contents, your query comes. So query we have written above, the query comes. I think we are done with this client call, and this gives a result. So this result is a response that we are getting. So response we are getting, and we are making a client call by supplying which model I want to call, and then I'm supplying which query I want to send. As we have got that answer, we can simply print the value of response, the response that we have got, response.text. And this way we are pretty much done with the code. Pretty easy. I will reiterate for you very quickly. You loaded the environment. There are a couple of imports, and then you're creating a client, genai.client API key that you're supplying, which you have already kept in env file. You are creating a query. You can write an interactive program which will keep on sending query, and it will keep on getting answers from Gemini. But this is the simplest program ever I wanted to show you. And here we are getting the response. While creating the response, you need to supply, a couple of things: is the model and the content. Content is the query that you're supplying, and the response that you're getting is right here. Having said that, we have created the application. Let's go and try to run this. For running this application, we will say Python and then Gemini underscore app dot py, and let's see if it works for us. So we'll increase this. So see, the answer comes in here. The capital of Japan is Tokyo. Make sense? So this way we could actually send our request to Gemini using the free API that we have got, and then we got the answer. Let's go quickly jump into the another program, and that is program for what you call is OpenAI app. In this application, we will be actually using OpenAI. Here we have used Gemini. There we will use OpenAI. So we'll go here. We'll select the root, and then create a file called OpenAI and underscore app and .py, so that we have created another application. We'll go and we'll copy a couple of things, all imports that we can copy here. In fact, this also we can copy. So I'm copying it to save the time. And this one we have to change. What we have to change? So we'll write from OpenAI import OpenAI. That's all. Rest everything remains the same. From OpenAI import OpenAI. And here, while creating a key, we will simply write OpenAI and API key, and this way we will select. You remember that we saved OpenAI key with something called OpenAI API key, so we will change it. So you remember we kept it in the env file. So OpenAI API key. Make sense? So load our environment, use OpenAI API. So we can say OpenAI API, and then we can actually create a query. So this time we'll give some other query. We'll give this query as what is the role of an AI engineer? So this is the question that I'm going to supply to OpenAI using the API call. And then next is getting response. the way that we write a response or make request to OpenAI is a little different from what we did in Gemini. So in Gemini, we simply wrote model and then content here. But in OpenAI, we have to write in a different way. Model we have written, that is GPT-4o mini. But here we have to write a JSON. And in JSON, we have to supply messages equals a JSON. And this JSON should have to contain at least number one is the role. Role is that who is supplying this, so user, and the content is the query that you have got. And one more point, and one more place where the Gemini call and Gemini response and the OpenAI response both differ. In Gemini, we could simply print response.text here, and it was seamlessly printing the result for us. But in OpenAI, you have to actually decipher it. So response, and then you have to do that choice as 0, and then from message, and then content. And this will finally print the content for you. Let's go and try to run this application for you, and then show if OpenAI provides you all the expected results that you wish. So I'm going here and then typing Python OpenAI underscore app dot py, and let's see if produces answers for us. The hit goes to OpenAI, and then it provides answer to us. So it is taking some time. Let's see. Yep, we have got all those answers. So what we asked was, an AI engineer is a professional who designs, builds, and deploys artificial intelligence system. So this way we have concluded both application, the first ever application, the simplest ever application, Python application, which actually talks to Gemini and which actually talks to OpenAI. All right, so now you have successfully created your Python virtual environment, configured your .env file, and securely stored both your OpenAI and Gemini API keys. And most importantly, you built two working Python AI applications, one using OpenAI and one using Gemini, and you learned how easily we can send a query and generate an AI response. This is the exact same setup that professionals use before building bigger AI applications like chatbots, RAG systems, AI agents, automation tools, etc. In this next video, we will go one step ahead and start building something more practical using these APIs. So if you found this video useful, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because the series is going to be a complete step-by-step roadmap for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.